Hello everyone and welcome to Revisiting Rocky Point Park. My name is David Bettencourt, and in 2007, 13 years ago, I made a documentary about New England's most beloved amusement park, the amazing, the magnificent Rocky Point Park. I am so thrilled with the idea of Rhode Island PBS letting me come back and geek out with some of my favorite Rocky Point fans over what was and what is now the coolest spot on Narragansett Bay. So they asked me first though, before I show you some of the video I made recently while actually revisiting Rocky Point Park, I wanted to go over a couple of my favorite things from making the documentary about Rocky Point Park. One of them, the first one I'm going to show you, is a section from the film about the presidents of the United States.
Rutherford Hayes visited Rocky Point on June the 28th, 1877. Rutherford Hayes and his party came to the pier and gave a few brief remarks and then proceeded to a clam bake where over 1,500 people were fed thousands of clams. At some point along the way, President Hayes went into the hotel and was linked up on a telephone with Alexander Graham Bell, who was 13 miles away in Providence, Rhode Island, at another hotel. Mr. President, I'm speaking with you through 13 miles of wire without the use of galvanic current on the line. I hope that you understand distinctly what I say, and I shall be very glad to hear something from you in reply to this, if you please. Well, President Hayes was then asked to say something, and his response was not the most memorable. It was, "Please speak a little more slowly." So those are the first words ever said by a president on a telephone.
And I just have to say that I'm pleased to visit the Rocky Point Palladium. Hey, listen, this is the first time I've been to an amusement park in years. In fact, I wanted to check out the corkscrew, but the Secret Service guys wouldn't let me do it.
One of my favorite things about Rocky Point Park was that baseball was played at Rocky Point throughout its history. And not only was it a cool time in Rocky Point's history, it was also a cool time in baseball's history. Players like Babe Ruth and Walter Johnson both played at Rocky Point Park. And what's really cool is that I met a lot of really interesting local baseball historians who told me the story of Rocky Point's legendary baseball games. Rick Harris, who is a local baseball historian, did, after the movie came out, he did let me into his fantasy baseball league, which is the oldest fantasy baseball league in New England. And you can see here that I named my team the Rocky Points.
By mid-1860s to 1870, every town, every nook and cranny, every little crossroads in Rhode Island had their own baseball team.
Well, Rocky Point, as far as I can tell, was the only place in New England in the 1890s and the early 1900s that professional ball players could stage a game on Sunday. The proprietor of Rocky Point, Randall Harrington, had connections with many of the powerful politicians in Rhode Island that implicitly supported all these basically illegal activities.
At that point, you can't open up a daily newspaper without seeing mention of baseball at Rocky Point. Babe Ruth actually was signed originally by the Red Sox and played 2 games in 1914 up in Boston before he in essence he was shipped down to Providence Grays, where he finished out the season going 8-1 as a pitcher, and it led them to the pennant championship that year. And one of the more interesting stories around Babe Ruth, his involvement in Rhode Island, happened at Rocky Point.
Babe Ruth hit a very famous home run there in 1914, and as it turns out, there was a ground rule. So even though he circled the bases, there was a ground rule that said he was only entitled to a triple. So he, technically, in the box score, he's down for a 3-base hit, but you read the accounts, and certainly the legend of it is that he hit a home run into the ocean.
Of course, I went to a lot of punk rock shows in Providence throughout the years, and I went to see Neutral Nation more than once, a few times actually, and they used to play the Rocky Point theme song at their shows. So I reached out to them for an interview, and they played that at one of their shows at the Old Living Room. So this clip is a special clip because it has Rhode Island history with Rocky Point's theme song, and it has rock and roll history with Rhode Island legendary rock band Neutral Nation performing the Rocky Point theme song live at the Old Living Room in Providence, Rhode Island.
And we were playing this outside gig on the top of a flatbed truck at a video store opening. And Todd just started playing the beginning of it. We all jumped in, started playing it. The crowd went absolutely nuts, and
The
we
rest
just kept playing it.
Kooky nuts.
Yeah,
That's what surprised
they just
me.
flipped out.
It was just like, why would these people possibly respond this way to a theme song to an amusement park?
Come with your friends. It's a Rocky Point tradition. 'Cause it's summertime again. Rocky Point, it's all inside. Rocky Point, and you can come alive. Rocky Point, you're all invited to have some summer fun. Come with your family. Come with your friends. It's a Rocky Point tradition. 'Cause it's summertime again. Rocky Point, it's so exciting. Rocky Point, and you can come alive. Rocky Point, you're all invited to have some summer fun. Rocky Point. Rocky Point.
While making this movie, I met so many cool characters, cool cats, interesting people. People like John Malone, of course, Alan Ramsey, who left this earth way too early. He was one of the key ingredients to this movie, and he helped me every step of the way, and he will always be missed. I also met really fascinating people like Walter Bailey, who insisted on smoking cigarettes during his interview, and it was at the Carousel where children play. Also, the unbelievable John Carruthers, whose laugh and smile just makes me laugh and smile every time I watch this clip.
Do you know that this one right here is not the Rocky Point coaster?
It's not?
Oh. It's a fraud. And this sometimes happens. Rocky Point wanted to have a postcard, but I guess they hadn't made arrangements to have a photographer come and take shots. So they used a photo from, I think it's the Corkscrew at Knott's Berry Farm in California. And the reason why I know this, Knott's Berry Farm started building, was one of the first parks that built a corkscrew coaster by the Arrow Manufacturing Company. And at that time, they had this decorative lattice work that supported the coaster. But the Rocky Point coaster never had this lattice work. I know, because I got my own slides to show it that way. So this this card is a fraud. And when I pointed it out to the lady at the concession stand where they had it on sale, she said, "Nah, how dare you question our coaster?" I said, "Well, if you step out behind the lake and come look at it, it doesn't have this decorative."
And there was this skydiver sitting in the middle of the Midway, brand new ride that year. And this thing was 70 feet tall. It was terrifying just to look at it. Later on that day, it starts spinning around. We thought we'd go on it, but the closer we get, those cars are going upside down. People are at the top hanging, screaming. There's no way we're going on this at this point. We walk by again. Finally, we say, you know what? We've been on every ride in this park. We're going on the skydiver. We go up and we ask the guy, hey, do we have to go upside down? We noticed that some people are and some people aren't. He said, no, there's a steering wheel right in the car. Get in, just hold the wheel, and you don't have to go upside down. So the wheel starts. He brings down the top, actually, locks us in. We reach out for the steering wheel, and our little 10-year-old arms don't reach the steering wheel. He starts the ride. We are like, picture two rag dolls in a clothes dryer, banging around, feet, knees, everywhere. It was a horror show.
I used to like the Dodgems. I don't know if you remember what they were, but they were little cars, and they had a big long stem that went up to the roof, and I guess that was how it was powered, through electricity. And you could they had these big rubber, bumpers, and they were kind of bumper cars that you would call them. And you'd just get on one side of this big area, and you go with your buddy who was maybe you were 10 or 11 years old, and you got the greatest kick out of staging head-on collisions. That was a wonderful experience for all of us.
One night I was there. It was a rainy night. We figured we closed, and some kids came wanting to ride the ride. And I said, we'll run them. And I ran them, and they had just put the fence up around the ride. So the car got stuck. I said to the kid that was with me, he was a brand new kid, I forget his name. I said, I'm going to go push the car. All you do is stop it and don't do nothing else. So I went up, pushed the car, went around, he stopped it. I'm coming back down. He released the emergency brake. A car came around the curve, hit me. I went flying. That's over the tea kettle. Can you swear?
Riding the rides again was by far, though, my most favorite part of making this documentary. Riding the Cyclone, getting whiplash again on the corkscrew, but this time on the West Coast. Totally cool. We even suckered somebody who was going to the Philippines into going to an amusement park onto a flume and recording it for us so we could have that footage at the end of the movie. So I'm going to show you this clip, and then we're going to go right into revisiting Rocky Point Park. Thanks everyone for watching. At the end of the next video, which is called Revisiting Rocky Point Park, you'll have the opportunity to talk and reminisce about the park, and hopefully you can tell me some of your favorite rides, favorite foods, and let's geek out about Rocky Point Park.
Come with your family, come with your friends. That's the Rocky Point tradition, 'cause it's summertime again.
Dave Bettencourt here. I am at one of my favorite places on this earth, Rocky Point Park, and I'm so excited to show you around a little bit today. Let's go take a look at some of the things that make Rocky Point Park, Rocky Point Park.
Rocky Point.
Welcome to the playground of New England, Rocky Point Park, Rhode Island's only great amusement park.
Spend a day by the bay.
Get great food and great value. Gives great times, young and old. It's Rocky Point and you. Make tracks to Rocky Point. Hardest fun under the sun, yeah. Make tracks to Rocky Point. Always new and always fun. Make tracks to Rocky Point.
Hold on, cause it's summertime, and that means Rocky Point time. Rocky Point is the ultimate amusement park in New England, featuring the newest and most exciting thrill rides, the widest and best variety of games and amusements, and of course, the fabulous seafood of the world-famous Shore Dinner Hall.
Come with your family. Come with your friends. That's the Rocky Point tradition, cause it's summertime again.
Bring your shades, wear your jams, catch some rays, because Rocky Point is hot fun in the Rhode Island sunshine all summer long.
Ride the roller corkscrew, it's the ultimate in fun. The coaster loop will thrill you, so come on everyone.
Dare yourself to experience the free fall, a sheer 60-foot drop at 80 miles per second. Strap yourself into the corkscrew for an upside-down spin of the coaster loop, and cool off with an exhilarating ride on the flume.
Join in the tradition of clam cakes and fun. Another generation under Rocky Point summer sun.
Delicious chowder and clam cakes, a Rhode Island tradition. The best lobster and fish bake anywhere. All at great prices, and all with the best view of Narragansett Bay.
Rocky Point is so exciting. Rocky Point, where you can come alive. Rocky Point, you're all invited to share our summertime.
Rocky Point is 128 acres of prime-time summer fun and excitement. It's a summer getaway for kids of all ages. Rocky Point has something for everyone. It's a Rhode Island, New England landmark. Rocky Point is more than you'll expect. Rocky Point is fun all summer long.
Rocky Point.
Ride the rides and get cool in our saltwater pool.
It's a place for family fun.
We've got your summer at Rocky Point.
My name is June Thomas Sully, and I grew up in Warwick. I started going to Rocky Point when I was 5 years old, mainly the pool area. And when you went to the pool area, there was always music playing. And one song that they kept on playing over and over was Bebop Balula, She's My Baby.
Rocky Point Park is proud to present its newest ride attraction, the Enterprise. Direct from Germany, the only ride of its kind in the entire country. Located near the merry-go-round, we invite you to come down and experience one of the greatest ride thrills ever, the all-new Enterprise, right here at Rocky Point Park.
My name's Ken Rinn. I'm from Warwick, Rhode Island. And from 1974 through 1978, I worked at Rocky Point. Started as a ride operator, became the park's announcer, and eventually ended up the midway supervisor there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rocky Point Park is proud to present Jack Cook and his crazy comedy car, Guy Gossing and his Royal Bengal Tigers. Had to deal with those tigers for 2.5 weeks. You don't want to be downwind of those beasts. Johnny Zopi's 3001. Those are the ones I can remember.
There's nothing like a family day at Rocky Point. Everything's open. The chowder and the clam cakes are still the best in the world. The rides and the games are more fun than ever. The fabulous Shore Dinner Hall opens at noon. And of course, you can get there with so little gas. Let's go.
There's fun at the shore, rides and games and much more.
It's a place for family fun.
We've got your summer at Rocky Point.
Yeah, my name's Mike Clinton. I grew up down in Connecticut, not too far from Rocky Point. Rocky Point was great for concerts. You know, they had every weekend they would have a concert there.
Coming to Rocky Point, July 2nd and 4th, see the 12-year-old piano-playing dynamo Dax.
So make a date with Seduction on Wednesday night, August 29th.
Make Wednesday, August 15th, your day to see Belinda Carlisle at Rocky Point.
And on the Midway, Recording Stars Brownsville Station. Plus a special appearance.
My name is George Lacrosse. I'm from Barrington, Rhode Island. I'm editor of laughingthedark.com. This ride itself was a pretty horrific ride. There was a lot of really gory scenes in there. There was a woman going through a sawmill. There was a torture scene where they had a woman bound and gagged. They had a guy getting stretched out on the rack. Quite a lot of, it was pretty intense for its time.
What do you have to say for yourself, Graham? I pulled off a
I say, oh, what do I say? I say there's nothing like Rocky Point.
That's a look at some of my favorite things that make Rocky Point Park. Today, it's a much different place. It's a big, open state park for you to enjoy with your friends and family. But I want to ask you, what are your favorite memories of Rocky Point? Share them with me. Tell me about your experiences. What do you remember about the amusement park that was here on Narragansett Bay?